If you're planning a trip to Japan, you've probably asked yourself this. How do you build an itinerary that includes modern cities, traditional towns, temples, magnificent castles, and nature, all without feeling exhausted? In this video, we will show you how we solved that challenge. The route we followed through these places, and the decision we made at the start of the trip, that completely changed how we experienced Japan. We're Pablo and Anna from Happy Boots, and today we're stepping into Japan. We landed in Tokyo, which became the starting point of our trip. A journey that would take us through different sides of Japan. We got the JR Pass, an unlimited travel pass for tourists that can be used across different transport systems. Even though it wasn't the cheapest option, it gave us something more important: flexibility. It allowed us to move more freely between places. And that really shaped how we designed our itinerary, adjusting things along the way. Tokyo was our first contact with Japan. Everything felt new and striking. It's a huge city, full of contrasts, where each neighborhood has its own identity and made us want to explore them all. There's so many things to see and do that at first it can feel a bit overwhelming. A good way to explore it is to divide the city into areas and use the Yamanote Line train, which connects the main spots in a circular route, along with Google Maps to plan your routes. For us, it was key to stay close to a train station, which allowed us to make better use of our time and move around more easily.
The next station is Shibuya, JY20. The doors on the right side will open.
Some neighborhoods you shouldn't miss are Shibuya, with its constant energy and the famous crossing. Shinjuku, with its skyscrapers and nightlife. Harajuku, with its mix of youth culture and creativity. Asakusa, where you can feel the more traditional side with the Sensoji Temple. And Akihabara, the area for electronics and otaku culture, full of shops, lights, and a very unique atmosphere. Exploring them helps you understand Tokyo's diversity in a short time. We left the city behind and headed into the Japanese Alps, a mountain range in central Japan that crosses the island of Honshu. It's a place with high peaks, deep valleys, and landscapes that change completely with each season. From Tokyo, we went to Takayama, where we stayed, and then visited the village of Shirakawa-go as a day trip. Here, the journey changed pace, going from the bullet train to a slower train, and then to a bus made everything feel more relaxed. We arrived in a winter landscape with an idyllic atmosphere. The traditional houses and the surrounding nature created a scene that felt like something out of a dream. In Takayama, it's worth exploring the old town, with its preserved streets and traditional buildings. We also really enjoyed walking up to the temple and cemetery area on the hill, where you get a different perspective of the place and a real sense of calm. Shirakawa-go, on the other hand, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. known for its traditional thatched roof houses. One of the highlights is going up to the viewpoint to see the full view of the village and the valley. It's a very popular area, but it's absolutely worth it. It's better to go early to avoid the crowds and enjoy it more peacefully. Our journey continues deeper into rural Japan as we follow an old samurai trail. From Takayama, we went to Nagiso. We stayed there as a base to walk the old trail between Tsumago and Magome. These two villages were part of the Nakasendo, an important imperial route that connected Edo, present-day Tokyo, with Kyoto, which was the capital during the Edo period. Samurai, merchants, messengers, and feudal lords traveled along this route. These villages were post towns, places where travelers could rest along the way. With the arrival of the train, many of these post towns turned into cities. But Magome and Tsumago were left outside the railway network, which allowed them to preserve much of their original look. Today, you can walk this 8-kilometer path and experience the journey in a way very similar to how samurai once did. It feels like traveling back in time, walking through forests, small villages with old wooden houses, and paths that still keep a traditional way of life. Trail is not very demanding, so it's best to take it slow. Stop along the way, look around, and enjoy the surroundings. Because here, the journey itself is what matters. Magome is located on a hillside, with cobblestone streets that go down between traditional houses and small shops. Its layout follows the natural slope of the land, and the open views of the valley give it a distinct character. Tsumago stands out for how well it has been preserved. Every detail has been carefully maintained to preserve its authentic atmosphere. Nagiso is a small town crossed by the Kiso River and part of the old Nakasendo route. Unlike the others, it keeps more of its everyday life than its historical past. There you'll find the Momosuke Bridge, one of the longest wooden bridges in Japan, built in the early 20th century. Crossing it offers beautiful views of the river and the mountains. From Nagiso, we went to Osaka and then visited Kyoto. Two cities that are very close, with completely different energy. Osaka feels like a city that never stops, with a lively nightlife and a wide food scene. Kyoto, on the other hand, feels calm, with its ancient temples, gardens, and historic neighborhoods. Both cities are very close, and with the bullet train, you can go from one to the other in just minutes. In Osaka, much of the experience comes from exploring its neighborhoods and soaking in the atmosphere. Dotonbori is one of the most iconic areas. With its lights, signs, and constant movement, it's also worth visiting Osaka Castle, which combines history with wide views of the city. In Kyoto, the cultural heritage stands out. Fushimi Inari Shrine, thousands of red torii gates stretching into the forest. Kinkakuji, the golden pavilion, surrounded by beautiful gardens. And neighborhoods like Gion reveal a more traditional side of the city. with wooden houses, narrow streets, and an atmosphere that still holds a strong sense of its history. We used Osaka as a base to visit other places, as day trips without changing accommodation. We also took the opportunity to visit Kobe and Himeji, home to one of Japan's most impressive castles. Japan helps you understand something quite simple. Moving around is not just going from one place to another. It's a key part of the experience. That's why, when we planned our itinerary, we didn't think of it as a list of destinations, but as a journey. One where the path between each place was just as important as the places themselves. And that was the decision that completely changed the way we experienced the trip. If you're planning your trip to Japan, we hope this video was helpful. On our channel, we have more detailed videos about several of these places, in case you want to dive deeper into each destination and see them at a slower pace. We'll leave the links in the description. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe and join us on our next journeys. See you in the next one. Bye bye.